Hello and welcome back.
We are here with a movie review today. We are Digital Greenbook. I'm Alana.
And I am Jalecia.
Yay! And we actually wanted to follow up on watching a couple of more documentaries surrounding Bitcoin and just its inception, the creation of it, and how that's impacted other countries and systems around the world.
Yes, especially that of African descent, of course. Not to be, but to be very specific.
Directly reflects.
Effects. Yeah, so I've heard a lot of good reviews about it. Interesting to get into this video and kind of dissect what may be going on over there concerning cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Just see how we can just empower our people to get involved in for some great entertainment edutainment.
Edutainment. Hey.
Yes.
And this is a good follow-up because the first movie review we did was Banking on Bitcoin, which anyone who's been in the crypto space, that's usually one of the first movies or books that they're referred to. Another book is The Bitcoin Standard.
All right.
But we watched Banking on Bitcoin last time, and what we learned in that video was basically how, because the hub of where it came out in New York, that's why New York has so many regulations put on it. It's more accessible in other states, and they're still developing as far as accessibility for everyone. Even in the United States, doesn't have access to crypto fully. So I thought that was fascinating. Now we're looking at banking on Africa and how easily accessible is Bitcoin to people in Africa, and what is the impact that Bitcoin could have on Africa as a whole.
Right. So, I'm interested to see the perspectives, because we're talking about Africa, I do want to see Black perspective, and I know a lot of times we get these supposed Black movies or documentaries or what have you, but it's still from a white perspective. So
here we go. Banking on Africa.
Very excited. Making history. And also there's going to be a lot of very pleased people at the school. It's not just a tech thing. It's not just a new invention. It's something that can actually help work people. So it's not worth it. It's fun to do that. I'm excited. Gives it all meaning, not just interest.
I'm gonna just say there's a certain look in someone's eyes when they have full and complete belief in the thing that they're doing. Be it good, be it bad, be it whatever. I was thinking,
are they with the charger outside holding on top
it
like
sort of
that?
looked like an Etherscan transaction page to me.
Oh, did it?
I couldn't fully see it, but
living at the bottom of Africa can really
their intentions on what they would.
I really wonder about that, like the net worth of some of these people who've been in since inception.
I mean, getting in at pennies, dollars, even if you got in when it hit $1,000, like you're good. Hopefully they didn't sell.
I've
Hopefully
talked
they
to
didn't sell.
now.
A lot of them have.
Enmeshing myself deeper in this space, I've probably had personal conversations with at least 3 people that got Bitcoin at a ridiculously cheap price, and they rode price action for the short term and got out, and they are kicking themselves.
It would make me sick if I got in at $1,000 or less, and to see it at its price now, like.
Yeah, I'd be rolling over in my grave and I ain't even dead yet.
But they, I think that's why everybody's so crazy now when we have these penny coins or tokens come out, because everybody, they hope that
that's the next Bitcoin, quote unquote.
Yeah, so it's.
I made the mistake quite a few times early on of getting too technical when I'm just speaking to my mum or my wife or friends who just want to understand how it works. It's digital money.
in 2016.
Okay.
In 2015, Bitcoin was
between $222 and $385.
Right. This is at the time this guy was interviewed. crazy. And that wasn't that long ago. That's the thing that for me is it hurt a little bit because I'm like, I wasn't doing that much.
I graduated nursing school in 2010. I was making very good money that year. If I had known a sliver of what I know now, I would have had like 200 Bitcoin. Yeah. 300 Bitcoin. 400, 500,
just to see what would have happened. Because at the very worst, you know, you lose a little bit or it stays the same. And the bank is, I feel like
it literally say let's if I had bought, we talking about price. And I like to buy stuff on my birthday. So on my birthday, or as close to my birthday as possible, $377, right? I would have gotten 10 of them. I know I like to get shits in 10s. Pardon my French. But, so say I dropped $3,700 on Bitcoin.
All right.
When it got to $37,000 alone, that was a 10x.
Sheesh.
So where we are now, what I would have
you would have hit that this year. You would have 10x this year.
This year, I would have 10x my money over 6 years of effort. Put $3,700 in and have $37,000.
All right, and just forgot about it.
And looking at what we're looking at, knowing what we know now, by the end of the year, it could have 20x. It's crazy.
Yeah. So it wasn't that long ago. Most of us watching this video were probably full-grown adults with making some type of disposable income. Yeah. But again, we're watching these films and we're making a commentary. We're marking up the charts, interviewing people to just let everybody know who's not in it. It's not too late.
Right.
But I think to make the wise decisions in the market now, you do need some form of education. Right. You have to have some reliable resources,
some form of guidance, because not only is the space rapidly growing, but we know that the corporations are still learning. They just had a whole conference in February of this year, 3 months ago, and they're learning how to get involved with.
Welcome to my farm.
Even it's so hot, the damn chicken wants some shade.
That's right. You don't see it.
The Bitcoin market went a bit up. I managed to buy the gold.
Women are amazing.
You see
but money is and always has been a form of an IOU note. I could give you something and you could trust that thing had value because society believed it did. Things like dollars and rands. We call those fiat currencies, and fiat is a Latin word that means let it be done. It basically means that they have value because governments say
that. That looked like a drug deal.
Governments tell us that you will use this money, you will accept it as repayment of debt, and you will pay your taxes in this currency. So it really is just because we say so.
First it was bartering for item, then it became item for paper, or now item for credit, item for plastic, item for whatever. And the same system pops up over and over and over again, and the only thing that keeps it honest is documentation, something that blockchain allows us to do. Every transaction is recorded and uneditable. That's why I love crypto. And then not only is it documented, but when you do have cryptos that have scarcity built in, they can't just say, you know what, let's print money, let's make some more money. Like, no. Bitcoin is pretty damn phenomenal.
Yeah.
For someone to dream this up in their head and then execute
and it only really hurts the people that are trying to misuse it, or like whatever, they're just greedy and they don't want anybody else to have a chance, like a real fair start. You know what I mean? Because we could get in at pennies, or if you got a little more, then cool, you can play that. But man, I love how they are like asking the necessary questions, like what is money and why, and like, because you do have to understand that to even care about crypto in general. Why is it such a topic that the media is feeling, or certain celebrities they're pushing now? Like it's not just a fad or something that's trending. Even though it is trending, but it takes, for me sometimes, looking into countries where they're not as privileged as we are in the States to realize, like, okay, this really is deeper than oh, let me put $20 here and watch it grow to $100. Like, it's more than that.
Yeah.
On a global level, like, that's cool. And all, I love it, but man, like, this, for some people, this is literally like this could sustain their family for the next few generations. So
right, without having to break their back.
Yeah. And they can focus on whatever, like, their other talents and making this world better. So,
right, or even creativity, or not being stressed, or
exactly.
Point of view,
top up.
at least 80% of Africans are banked. If they want to make a payment, they have to use cash. Obviously, you know.
What I'll say on that as well, having visited, because I've been both to Ghana and I've been to South Africa, and this living in 2021, native to Africa, and having to exist in that financial ecosphere. They own anything over there. If you see them with anything, they own it. Because as he just explained, they're not afforded the luxury of having credit. They're not afforded the luxury of being able to get something and then paying it off incrementally. They're only able to obtain something if they pay for it in full up front.
Right.
In America, it's completely backwards. We pride having credit and getting all these things up front, when that's actually a sign of debt and deficit. That's why our national deficit's so high. We up here getting all these things, and before we can fully pay for them, we'll put it on a credit card, or we'll, and we don't actually own anything. So that's where I feel where Africans, and especially Black Africans, far exceed our financial savviness because of circumstance.
Definitely. Yeah, and so it's that delayed gratification, and I feel like overall it just makes life more sustainable, because you don't have a bunch of people just running out and getting the newest whatever because it was on TV, and then 5 days later it's not that exciting anymore. So it's like that debt, it creates more of a problem than we get to see on a daily basis, because we just so used to consuming, throw it away, or and it's so we just racking up all this debt for no reason, versus like having to actually think about, okay, I want this car. I got $5,000 to get one. I'm either going to spend my money on a car, or I'm going to find other ways to
transport my body.
Yeah. It's either one or the other. So, we don't have to sit here and struggle like that, so to speak. Like, we just be like, oh, okay, they'll give it to me for $300 a month. I'll take it.
The more I get learned, I decided, let me take another step further. It's no longer about my son. Now it's about changing my country. It's about changing the people.
Just to educate people on something that everybody else think you crazy.
Right. Crypto is worth something.
Bitcoin, as a primary example, has a finite supply, which makes it a deflationary currency. It actually, in very real terms, is scarcer than gold.
Blockchain is the magic behind the money, but really, it's just a decentralized database stored on a very large network of computers all over the world. It is the technology that underpins Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies, but it's not just for monetary transactions. You can use it to store data like patents or wills, or to exchange anything of value, such as products, property, services, and even votes.
But he made a really good point about how everybody's checking one another, so there's no real reason to be fearful about getting involved, because, or one of the stigmas Bitcoin have is that murderers or criminals, they use it to fund their
criminals
their
use the U.S. dollar. What are you talking about?
Just for an example, if you're trusting someone every month to receive your payment and then do what is necessary with that, you could go check all of that. Like, okay, you actually received it on this date, and I know because I have the confirmation via blockchain. So it wasn't. You couldn't alter it by, putting my signature here, or
the landlord can't come up and say, I ain't getting no rent. You're going to be like, yes, you did.
Basically.
It's right here on
transaction fees and things like that. But to be fair, if you compare it to the traditional financial system, that's not really clear as crystal either.
It's really not at all. Where my tax money going?
I don't think I know anything really about the current
10,000 rand to US bank.
I don't think we know anything really about the current financial system, other than you work a job 2 weeks later, after putting in 2 weeks worth of work, you get a check.
And portions of that money came out before you even saw it.
And then you do it all over again. Like, you're working for free, basically, until you get that check. And that's about the extent of what I know. Really.
That's how they do energy over there.
Understand a little bit about Bitcoin, we way further ahead. Or just knowing that there's transaction fees and that goes to pay, miners.
Don't actually have to have all of the money that they're storing on behalf of their customers. They only need to keep enough of that money around that they can satisfy all of the withdrawals requests.
I didn't know that until last year.
One catalyst, one person making the decision to do something. Everyone can play into the bystander effect and not participate, but there's no traction, there's no movement like that. This woman, first, her motives were to help her child, who unfortunately passed away, but instead of succumbing to that, she kept going and said, fine, I'm gonna help my people. Forget that, let's get them liberated, get them some money. And there's so many things you can do with it, just from the top-up concept of powering a whole community off of electricity by paying in crypto. And this was 2015, so I'm wondering to what degree about that. But that was my main takeaway from this. How'd you feel?
Yeah. I do wish I would have seen more black faces. I do.
In banking on Africa.
Right.
Yeah.
But I get it. You have more of the tech gurus more trying to simplify what it actually is. So
yeah, but there's so many black tech people.
Her, for example, you know what I mean? Just people that, because you don't have to have a background in tech. You don't have to have any title or whatever. You could just be an average person that just understands it enough to do something. You know what I mean?
Educated themselves in this space.
Exactly. Like they said, it's all about the education. And thankfully you do have people like her that's showing up and being a real life example for Africans. Like, you being that first person to really spark the interest or give you a credible source. Because like she said, it's all type of scammers or whatever. And like, I'm pretty sure some people, they were discouraged because of scams. Yeah. And
one bad experience can really shade someone's experience. That's why I'm grateful for some of the trading partners that we have, because they have been burned in this space, but they still kept coming back with tenacity. But no, so I think that wraps up the video today. This was wonderful. It was dope.
Yes.
Bye.
Later.